This is a story about Esther McVey, the so-called Minister for Common Sense. It's a story about how she and her husband, also a Tory MP, have used hundreds of thousands of pounds of taxpayers' money to pay for rent on a London home, whilst he lets out a property he already owns in the capital.
You can't put up taxpayers' bills. You can't be asking the government for more money and yet not getting rid of wasteful spend yourself.
Before Rishi Sunak made Esther McVey the Minister for Common Sense, she was earning more than £60,000 a year on top of her MP salary as a star presenter on GB News, where she made clear her views on cutting wasteful public spending. Indeed, one of her key ministerial roles is to ensure efficiency and value for money in government policy. And in December, she wasted no time in launching a war on wasteful taxpayer spending, declaring in the Daily Mail, "We don't want you to see a single penny of your hard-earned cash wasted on unnecessary public spending." The Minister for Common Sense is married to Philip Davis, the Conservative MP for Shipley, who is still a presenter on GB News. He shares his wife's passion for cutting wasteful public spending and used to be an organiser for the Taxpayers Alliance, which campaigns loudly against those that waste taxpayers' money. It's hard to imagine a couple in Britain more dedicated to stopping taxpayers' money being wasted than the Minister for Common Sense and her husband. I'm Anthony Barnett, an investigative journalist who, along with Led by Donkeys, decided to examine just how serious the couple were when it comes to tackling unnecessary public spending in their own lives. I'm walking down this street in Westminster. It's only half a mile or so from the Houses of Parliament. And it's on this road where we've discovered Philip Davis owns a flat. And we helped him buy it, because before the MP's expenses scandal, members of Parliament could get taxpayers to help them pay their mortgages. It seems like a nice place, and only a short walk from where he and his wife work. Perfect for the political couple, you'd think. But the Minister for Common Sense and her husband don't live here. Working with the Daily Telegraph, we've discovered that despite Philip Davis owning a flat a few minutes' walk from Parliament that we all helped pay for, he lets it out and pockets the cash. And instead, he and his wife, the Minister for Common Sense, live in an apartment a short distance away where we pay their rent. So here, with a bit of digging, we found out this is the street where the Minister for Common Sense and her husband actually live. It's also about half a mile away from the Houses of Parliament where they work. They're not breaking any parliamentary rules, but it's hard to see how this use of taxpayers' money squares with the Minister's public cries of stopping unnecessary public spending. Davis bought his flat in 2005 when he first became an MP. He paid £275,000 for his property, with a mortgage that for 7 years we all helped pay. And property websites suggest it's now at least doubled in value, so that's a nice windfall. But instead of him and his wife living there, Davis rents it out. We don't know how much for exactly, but according to his Parliamentary Register of Interests, he pockets more than £10,000 a year in rent. So they live in an apartment on this street, but they don't pay a single penny in rent. And that's because we pay, the taxpayer. Each month, the taxpayer forks out more than £3,200 a month to cover their rent. McVey and Davis were married in 2020, but were a couple for a number of years before that. And our analysis shows that since 2017, the couple have claimed some £250,000 in taxpayers' money to fund their living costs. McVey and Davis represent constituencies more than an hour from London, meaning they can claim living expenses when staying in the capital. But since the MP's expenses scandal, that no longer includes help to pay for mortgages. Our research shows that at least another 8 MPs are enjoying similar taxpayer-funded rental benefits, including former ministers Dr. Liam Fox and Sir John Whittingdale. In total, we calculate these 8 MPs have claimed more than £1 million in expenses to pay their rent since 2017, whilst owning a buy-to-let property in London. We decided to ask the Taxpayers Alliance, where Davis once sat on the advisory board, what they thought about their former colleagues' living arrangements. They're yet to send us a response. We wrote to the Minister for Common Sense and her husband, asking them to justify claiming £250,000 in accommodation expenses while he already owns a flat in London. Esther McVey declined to comment, but her husband Philip Davis said his living arrangements were forced on him by the Parliamentary Standards Authority, IPSA. He said, "I don't own the flat to which you refer to outright. Indeed, I didn't actually own any of it. The mortgage company do. I would have been happy to remain in that flat in the same arrangement, as was the case for my first 7 years as an MP, but that option was removed from me. If I owned the flat outright and I could stay there without incurring a cost, then I would agree that I should do that. But that doesn't remotely apply in my case." Liam Fox and John Whittingdale were asked for a comment but did not respond. We also wanted to know what Rishi Sunak thought about several of his Tory MPs using public money in this way. Downing Street refused to comment.